Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most jaw-dropping twists in the 2026 Iran war, and trust me, this one hits hard if you're watching gas prices climb or wondering why the world feels so divided right now. Imagine this, it's late February 2026. The US and Israel launch strikes on Iran. Iran hits back hard by shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, that tiny choke point where about 20% of the world's oil flows every single day. Tankers stop moving. Insurance companies freak out. Oil prices explode. Brent crude shoots up to over $110, even hitting $119 at one point. In Europe, gas prices jump around 70%, oil by 50%. Families are paying more at the pump, businesses are getting squeezed, and governments are staring at an extra €13 billion bill just for fossil fuel imports. It hurts. Badly. So here's the big question everyone's asking, why didn't Europe's NATO allies jump in to help the United States? Why did they basically say, sorry America, this one's on you, even though their own economies were taking a beating from the same oil shock? Let me break it down for you, straight and simple. First off, most European leaders were caught completely off guard. The US didn't call them up beforehand to say, hey, we're about to strike Iran, you in? No big coalition meeting like in the old days. No shared plan. One day the strikes happen, and suddenly Europe is dealing with skyrocketing energy prices without having had any say in it. French, German, Italian, and Spanish leaders basically woke up to a done deal. And when you're not consulted, it's a lot harder to sign up for the fight. Second, they looked at it and said, this is not our war. Straight quote from Germany's defense minister. NATO's rule book is clear, Article 5 is for when one member gets attacked on their own soil. Iran didn't invade Europe or bomb Berlin or Paris. The Strait of Hormuz is thousands of miles away. So legally and politically, most allies felt zero obligation to send ships, planes, or troops into what they saw as America's, and Israel's, conflict. Third, their own people were dead against it. Polls across Europe showed huge majorities saying, no way, to getting involved. Leaders already dealing with inflation, energy worries from the Russia-Ukraine fallout, and anti-war protests weren't about to risk riots or lose elections by jumping into another Middle East war. Public opinion killed any chance of big support. Fourth, they were scared of escalation. Iran was firing missiles, using proxies, mining the waters. Europeans didn't want their cities or ships becoming targets, or a flood of new refugees, or even worse energy chaos on top of what they already had. They figured joining the fight could turn a regional war into something much bigger and messier. And here's the cold, realistic part. Even though the oil price spike hurt them, they calculated that sending their navies or air forces to help reopen the strait by force would hurt even more, in lives, money, and political damage. So instead, many quietly let the US use some bases for logistics, but publicly they kept their distance. Some even restricted US planes from their airspace or bases. Trump wasn't happy about it. He called them out on social media, told them to go get your own oil, or just take it from the strait themselves. He even hinted that maybe the US should rethink the whole NATO thing if allies won't step up. The transatlantic relationship took a real hit. Look, Europe wasn't completely sitting on its hands. Some countries talked about helping with safe navigation once things calmed down, and they pushed for diplomacy with Iran on reopening the strait. But full military backup for the US operation? Nope. So what does this all mean? It shows how alliances that looked rock solid on paper can crack when interests don't perfectly line up. The US wanted decisive action. Europe wanted to avoid another endless conflict while protecting their own economies and voters. What do you think, folks? Was Europe being smart and looking out for itself? Or was this a straight-up abandonment of a key ally when times got tough? Drop your thoughts in the comments, betrayal or smart self-preservation. Let me know which side you're on. If you want me to break down what happens next with the Strait, or how this could change NATO forever, hit that like button and subscribe. I've got more geopolitics breakdowns coming. Thanks for watching, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.